I played 100 days of Stardew Valley with the goal to reach perfection. Now, obviously perfection is impossible in 100 days for some of us. So instead, these 100 days will consist of 3 goals. Rebuild the community center, make a total of 3 million gold, and finally, max out all my skills. Yes, even foraging. The only rules are no exploits and no resetting days. Besides that, I should mention I'm not a pro. Even with my embarrassing amount of hours in this game, I make a lot of mistakes, and I apologize in advance. But hopefully you enjoy these 100 days of Stardew Valley as much as I did. Oh yeah, I should probably also say my goals for spring. It's to unlock the desert, make 100,000 gold, and get 100 Starfruit seeds. I start day 1 getting made fun of by Mayor Lewis and Robin. What a great welcome. Well, at least he gave me 15 parsnips that I plant and water. And since I can't really do anything, I go foraging for some mixed seeds and talk to as many people as possible. I return to my farm, chop some trees down, craft a chest, plant the seeds I got from Pierre's shop, and find an artifact. Yeah, crows are probably gonna be a problem, but I think I'm fine. On day 2, I check my mailbox and get an invitation to the beach from Willie. I grab my hoe and make my way there, getting a quick lesson from Willie and receive the fishing pole. I fish in the mountain lake instead of the ocean, as I doubt I'll catch anything good with my bad luck. By the way, if you see my gold increase and I don't mention it, I sold something boring like fish. But this time around, I sold 3 diamonds from a chest I got fishing. And to make things better, I got an ancient seed from it. That's right, an ancient seed on day 2. That's pretty great luck for a bad luck day. But I definitely have enough money for tomorrow's fiberglass fishing rod. Also, level 3 fishing and level 1 foraging. Day 3, while waiting to donate some stuff to Gunther, I fish up another artifact in a ring. I also collected my rewards, picked up the fiberglass fishing rod, and used all my gold on bait. I did this so I can take full advantage of passing out. You can't take any money away from me if I'm already broke, so good luck to whoever picks me up. Passing out while fishing should also let me hit level 10 fishing pretty quickly. Back to the day, I'm just gonna skip catfish since, I'll admit it, I'm not the best fisher. That means we fish at the mountain lake. I ended up getting copper from a chest, letting me unlock the furnace for tomorrow. Also, I reached level 5 fishing, choosing the fisher profession. I start day 4 with a visit from Clint, receiving the furnace recipe, which should come in handy tomorrow. And it seems like my luck ran out as one of my parsnips raided, but luckily, it was just a parsnip. I spend the rest of the day fishing, reaching level 6 fishing. I start day 5 with a visit from Marnie and a new dog that I adopt and name Green Tea. I also harvested all my parsnips and got ready for the mines. I talked to Marlin, receiving a sword and a challenge to join the guild. Unfortunately, that has to wait, as I need to get 5 copper in a furnace before Clint closes to upgrade my pick. Luckily, I get pretty lucky and I managed to get all the stuff I need by 2 p.m. I make my way to Clint's shop and smelt some more, upgrade my pick, and with the money I have left over, buy 19 iron and 5 gold. I got a little excited and forgot to pick up my furnace. Nice one. Hopefully Clint doesn't mind, but I spend the rest of the day foraging, reaching level 1 foraging and level 1 farming. Day 6, I receive some cookies from my mom and forage around the map. I get interrupted by Mary Lewis and get a tour of the abandoned community center. We talk for a bit. Obviously I'm gonna rebuild this place, but not for Mary Lewis or for the town, but for the benefits it gives me, like the greenhouse, the bus, and the mine carts. I'm not even joking when I say this. I think 2 whole people use this place. I pass by Pierre's shop and buy some kale seeds. It also turns out my furnace is completely fine. Thanks, Clint. You're a pretty good guy. I spent the rest of the day planting, fishing, and smelting. By the way, if you're wondering where I'm getting my ore from, it's from fishing chest. Also, level 7 fishing. Day 7, I collect my potato and kale, just in time for the visit to the wizard, where he offers me a drink and I drink it. I don't think this is normal. I can understand Junimo now. And I donate the spring forageables to the community center. I also upgrade my pick and fish for the rest of the day. I hit level 8 fishing and level 2 foraging. On day 8, I sell my seeds to Pierre, buy some gold from Clint, and restock on fish bait. I spend the rest of the day fishing and smelting. Day 9, I fish and finish up smelting my gold for a total of 5 gold bars. I also sell everything I can to make 10,000 gold for tomorrow's pick upgrade, which I actually managed to get. I also reach level 9 fishing. On day 10, I wake up to Demetrius and the option between the fruit cave or the mushroom cave, and this is probably the hardest decision I've made so far. In fact, I searched up videos and read forums, and none of them helped. It was really just up to me. But in the end, I chose the fruit cave and hoped I made the right choice. I also upgraded my pick and fished for the rest of the day. Day 11, I harvested my green bean and set myself up in the river, fishing up catfish the whole day. I also finally talked to Leah after 11 days. Keep in mind, she lives right under my farm. I'm probably gonna. I also finally reached level 10 fishing, choosing the angler profession. Day 12, I harvest all my kale, sell all the fish I've been saving up, and pick up my golden pickaxe. I head towards the mine with the goal to get 25 quality sprinklers, or the materials for them. I unfortunately only make it to floor 30, but managed to get 2 ancient seeds. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I also crafted 4 furnaces. I hit level 2 farming, level 2 mining, and level 1 combat. On day 13, instead of going to the fair, I went to the mines. Look, strawberries are good, but their grow time is a little too long for me, and I don't feel like watering 100 strawberries for the next week. So instead, I hit floor 50 in the mines and pass out on my farm. I also hit level 3 mining. Day 14, I checked the traveling card, and if my luck couldn't get any better, she has the red cabbage. Thank God. I don't need to farm serpents for the next 30 days. I hate serpents. I also bought 300 wood from Robin to repair the ocean bridge. Hopefully I get the materials for the bait maker, which I completely forgot about. I complete the spring crops bundle and buy a bunch of seeds from Pierre's shop and the backpack upgrade. I spent the rest of the day trying to plant as many seeds as I could. Yeah, the layout kind of sucks, but hopefully it works. I spent day 15 in the mines trying to get as much copper and iron for those 25 sprinklers. I also managed to get all the donations I need for the boiler room. That's actually pretty cool. I hit level 4 mining, level 2 combat, and the Junimo fix up the minecarts. I wonder how they taste. Probably like apples, or maybe they're like Skittles. Each one tastes a little different. Sorry. I continued day 16 in the mine, smelting ore, and finally crafting all the sprinklers I need. Day 17, I finally get all the materials I need for the bait maker and fish up largemouth bass the whole day, making a nice chunk of gold. It's also gonna rain tomorrow, so catfish. Day 18, I make some catfish bait, head towards the river, and fish up catfish the whole day, ending with 43 catfish. Not bad. On day 19, I head towards the mine with one goal, reach floor 120. I only reached floor 85. But I did manage to reach level 5 mining, choosing the miner profession. Day 20, I harvest my kale, and while trying to sell it, Maurice walks in. To summarize, he gives out coupons to everyone except me for some reason. I don't need your coupons anyways. But I stay loyal to Pierre's shop, unlike these 3 cowards that left him for a 50% off coupon. It's not like I would do the same. But I end up selling my kale and my catfish, making a nice amount of cash. Day 21, I complete the vault bundle, head towards the mine, and reach floor 100, eating my first star drop, which reminds me of dino nuggets. Okay, I reached floor 115. The Junima also repair the bus, and I hit level 6 mining. Day 22, I rush to the mines and reach floor 120, unlocking the skull caverns. This is probably a good time to tell you how I'm gonna finance 100 starfruit seeds. I have 2 options, fishing or mining. I choose mining since I thought fishing was gonna be a little boring and I could get the materials I needed for the sprinklers while I mine. Spoiler alert, it was the wrong choice. Anyways, back to the day. I grab everything I need for the desert trader, trade, and enter the skull caverns. Now, even for a bad luck day, I get pretty far. I managed to reach floor 50 and get a prismatic shard, plus a lot more stuff. I also hit level 3 combat and level 7 mining. On day 23, it rains. Keep that in mind. Anyways, I warp to the desert, get my galaxy sword, and plant my furnaces for another day in the skull caverns. I end up getting a battery and this shirt with a pink guy on it. I'm gonna wear it for the rest of the run. Level 4 combat and level 8 mining. Day 24, more skull cavern and level 9 mining. Day 25, it rains again. Now, I wasn't planning to get any speed grow, but seeing that I have some iridium bars and gold, I sell them to Clint and get my hoe upgraded. I make my way to the saloon and buy a little too much speed grow, but it should be fine. The rest of the day I spent mining, and I reached level 5 combat, choosing the fighter profession. Day 26, another rainy day, but at least my kale is ready and I hit level 6 farming, unlocking the quality sprinklers. I warp to the desert, trade smelt, and spend another day in the skull caverns, making it all the way to floor 90. I also get 20 red cabbages, which is pretty good, I guess. I reach level 6 farming and level 10 mining, choosing the blacksmith profession. Day 27, I pick up my copper hoe and turn in my axe, which is a mistake because I can't clear anything in my farm without my axe, so way to go me. I also crafted a bunch of furnaces, letting me cook a lot of iridium bars. But besides that, it's another day in the skull caverns. Day 28, another rainy day. That's the 4th rainy day, and the 4th day I could have caught catfish, but instead I'm collecting bars and setting up my farm for summer. Except I mess up a lot today. First, I don't have my axe, so I can't clear anything. Second, I don't buy seeds from Pierre in time, which means I can't plant my speed grow without it disappearing. Overall, this day is pretty boring, but at least I crafted all the sprinklers I needed. That's also the end of spring year 1. Well, my goals for spring were to unlock the buff/desert, make 100,000 gold, and buy 100 starfruit seeds. Overall, I would say I did pretty good. Not only did I achieve all 3 goals, but I almost got 200 starfruit seeds with deluxe speed grow. I would say my only failure in spring was not fishing those catfish. Man, I missed out there. I could have made so much money. But I think I did pretty good. But now it's time for summer and new goals. Starting with tappers and kegs. Obviously, we need a keg empire and we need tappers for that. Second, I want to get the burglar's ring and reach floor 100 of the skull caverns. That one's gonna take some time, but it's probably fun. And finally, probably the hardest out of all 3 or 4, I think, make 1 million gold. That's probably gonna be really hard, but I think if we get that keg empire going, we'll be fine. But that's it. Some pretty simple goals, and now it's time for day 1 of summer. Day 1 of summer. I go to Clint's, pick up my axe, and clear the land. After that, I go to the desert and pick up 198 starfruit seeds. We were just 2 off from 200. Unfortunately, I went broke before that happened. But the rest of the day is spent trying to put these starfruits into the ground and water them. And somehow, I managed to do it, even with green tea getting in the way, like 90% of the time. I also put deluxe speed grow on them, so we should get a triple harvest from this. On day 2, I expand my farm and forage. Or more like leveled up foraging. Which, talking about foraging, level 4 foraging, and there was an earthquake at night. I don't know what that means, but hopefully it's not bad. On day 31, I lose audio, but it's just another day in the skull caverns with no luck. Like literally no luck. I don't think I got 1 piece of iridium that whole run. Day 32, I was so unlucky with the skull caverns that I decided to farm dust sprites so I can unlock the burglar's ring. I also smelt ore, craft some tree tappers, and tap some trees. Day 33, it's a good luck day, so I spend the day in the skull caverns and manage to make it to floor 103, finishing with 108 iridium ore. To make things somewhat better, a fairy visits my farm and grows my starfruit. And even though I'm grateful, she could have aimed a little higher. The ancient fruit was just a little higher, but I'll take the starfruit. Also, level 7 combat. On day 34, I turn in my axe to Clint, sell my iridium bars, and buy some starfruit seeds. I also organize my farm a bit and spend the rest of the day farming dust sprites. Day 35, I buy some garlic seeds from the traveling merchant and farm dust sprites. I also get pretty lucky with an infested floor, speeding up the process by a lot. Day 36, I pick up my axe from Clint and unlock the secret woods. I'll be coming here almost every day for the foraging XP as I'm trying to reach level 6 foraging to unlock the lightning rods. Besides that, it's another dust sprite day and level 8 combat. Day 37, I organize my chest and farm dust sprites for the last time as I finally kill the 500th dust sprite, unlocking the burglar's ring. That took a lot longer than I thought it would, but at least it's done now and we can focus on other things like the skull caverns and more mining and actually more combat. Yeah. Trust me, it's gonna get better. Day 38. The starfruit's finally ready to harvest, and as I harvest it, I realized something. Today is Wednesday and Pierre isn't open. That means I can't sell the starfruit, and the problem is I'm broke, which means I can't buy any more starfruit seeds, which also means no triple harvest. You know, I feel pretty dumb when I mess up in this game, but day 38 was just, I felt really dumb. But I still organized my farm and put down some sprinklers, including an iridium sprinkler I got from the skull caverns. I also crafted some summer seeds. I end the day selling my starfruit for a nice profit and reached level 9 farming. Day 39, I collect my oak sap, make my way to the saloon, and buy 150 deluxe speedrow with 220 starfruit seeds. I end up planting them, obviously, spending the rest of the day smelting and chopping down trees. On day 40, I pick up a nautilus shell from the merchant and plant some oak trees in the desert, which I completely forget about. Besides that, it's a pretty bad day in the skull caverns. I wonder why. It's probably because it's a bad luck day. But none of that matters since I got to touch a raccoon today. I think it kind of just went through me. Weird. On day 41, I spend a lot of money. I start with the Dehydrator and apple seed, and I end with the barn. That's it. That was a pretty big day for me. Besides that, it's more skull caverns. Day 42, I pick up an apple, large goat milk, and a large brown egg from the merchant. After that, I give my pick to Clint for its final upgrade. I also end up buying all the summer seeds I need, crafting the sprinklers, and planting them down. End the day by chopping down trees, hitting level 6 foraging, unlocking the lightning rods. Day 43, I craft 3 dehydrators, harvest my starfruit and summer seeds, and I end up using 15 starfruits on the dehydrators. Yeah, they're pretty expensive, so hopefully they pay off. The rest of the day is spent chopping down trees and planting wheat, which I forgot to record. Nice. I also ended up reaching level 10 farming, choosing the artisan profession. And owl noises, I guess, whatever that means. Hopefully it's not bad. Day 44, I collect my dehydrated starfruit, which sells for 7,910 gold. a piece. That's pretty good, but not as good as kegs, I think. And trust me, when I get my kegs running, we'll have a lot more gold. I make my way to Marnie's to buy a cow, and well, she does what Marnie does best and ignores me. But you know who doesn't ignore me? Clint. Probably because I paid off his mortgage, but at least we have a new pickaxe. I think I spent like 100,000, and I finally craft lightning rods, like a lot of them. Trust me, trying to get batteries after summer is a pain. There's only like 2 ways you can get them. And I spend the rest of the day in the skull caverns and reach level 9 combat. Day 45, thanks to the iridium pickaxe, days in the skull caverns are actually pretty enjoyable and kind of fun. Also, keep in mind, I might not say it, but I'm always smelting ore like copper, iridium, gold, and iron. On top of that, I'm trying to get the auto petter from the caverns with 0 luck. Like, I mean 0. This thing's harder to get than an ancient seed. On day 46, it thunders, which means batteries. And if my luck couldn't get any better, Marnie's actually at her store, and I managed to buy a cow and name it Dog. I'll be petting Dog every day, I promise. I also buy 100 speed growth from the saloon and spend the day clearing space for more starfruits. I forgot to mention, but I sold my iridium and dehydrated starfruit. Day 47. If you haven't noticed yet, I've expanded my dehydrator empire by quite a bit. Now, don't worry, I won't be using them for much longer just till I get enough kegs. Besides that, it's another rainy day, which means more batteries. I also harvested my wheat, bought a corcus, I think that's how you say it, and 296 starfruit seeds. Plant them and make even more farmland for more starfruit. I also accidentally made 5 scarecrows, wasting my wood. On day 48, I harvested my starfruit, planted my summer seeds, and chopped down trees. I also decided to plant all the tree seeds I forgot about. It's a lot, and I don't even get to plant them all. Day 49, I collect my dehydrated starfruit, sell it to Pierre, and use the gold to buy a coop and 4 stacks of wood from Robin. This should be enough wood for my kegs and tappers. And with the gold I have left, I buy corn seeds and plant them down. And finally, on day 21 of summer, I craft 21 kegs. This is the beginning of something horrible. I'm not even joking when I say this, I'm probably going to be worse than the Jojo Corporation. If you can't guess yet, everything is going to be surrounded by kegs. But enough foreshadowing, I mine copper in the mines for the rest of the day. Day 50, we're back in the skull caverns and I get a nice chunk of ore. In fact, I get a little too greedy and I think I die? I'm not too sure actually. It doesn't really matter though, since Harvey brings me back to life. Plus, I don't lose anything too big. But even worse news, I pass out on my farm. I'm not sure if this is good or bad news, but Mr. Q drops a bunch of boxes all over the valley. On day 51, green rain falls all over Pelican Town. Probably thanks to Mr. Q. The people deal with this by drinking. You know what? That's fair enough. I, on the other hand, mine and craft crystallariums, adding jades or staircases. Day 52, I remember about Dog and give her a pat on the head. Besides that, it's more skull caverns and smelting. Day 53, my summer seeds are ready and so are my melons. Keep in mind, I need 5 gold star melons, which I managed to get. Also, I'm not collecting my tappers since I'm trying to sync them up. Besides that, I collect some items for the community center, donate them, and complete the summer crops bundle and the exotic foraging bundle. I end the day by planting some trees. Day 54 continues to rain, which means more batteries. I make my way to the caverns and have a horrible day. It was so bad, in fact, that I left to farm copper. It was a really bad day. Day 55, it's another rainy day and my oak is ready, which means more kegs. The rest of the day is spent getting fall seeds from the desert merchant and smelting ore. I also collected my starfruit. Day 56, the last day of summer, I start the day with a harvest of starfruit and buy a little too much pepper seeds. After that, I upgrade my coop, sell my prismatic shards, and completely ignore the luau since I have more important things to do, like planting 300 pepper seeds. Yeah, really important. Besides that, I buy a sweet gemberry and chop down trees and end the day. That's the end of summer year 1. Well, summer's over and fall is here. The goals for fall are pretty simple. More kegs, more crystallariums, and more tappers. On top of that, I still need to process all those starfruit and put down hundreds of pumpkins. I really do mean that. Hundreds. But enough about that. Day 57, I clear my farm and harvest all the wheat I've planted. Also, look at all my ancient seeds. I won't be planting anymore till I get the greenhouse. I say hi to Pierre and pick up 400 pumpkin seeds and all the other fall seeds I need. Besides that, I plant them down, chop down trees, and plant more tree seeds. On day 58, Mayor Lewis and Robin show me the new special orders board. These are the quests we're looking for, and luckily we got the prismatic jelly off rip. And to make things better, I found the prismatic slime pretty early, getting 2 prismatic jellies and giving 1 to the wizard. And seeing that I have so much time left, I donate some items to the community center and realize I messed up. I forgot to get the sunfish. Yeah, that's pretty bad. The only way I can get a sunfish now is through the traveling merchant, or I think Krobus. If not, I have to wait till spring or summer, year 2. So hopefully we get it from the merchant, and if not, we just failed one of the 3 big goals. Day 59, I go into the school cavern to make it all the way to floor 101 and get a bunch of ores along the way. And not only that, but I finally got the auto petter. Now we just need another one. On day 60, I harvested my corn and bought 1 duck and 2 chickens. Their names are Carp, Nugget, and Albert. Yeah, I think I'm getting pretty good at this naming thing, and we got a couple more animals to go. I also forgot to mention, I upgraded my axe and now I'm picking it up. Seeing that it's raining, I fish up all the community center fish I need / can get. Besides that, I buy a deluxe speed grow and plant it. Day 61, I check the merchant and have no luck. Well, I got a couple more, so I shouldn't panic just yet. Besides that, I get a wood skipper and donate a bunch of items to the community center and reach level 8 foraging. Day 62, I collect my oak sap, craft a couple more kegs, and harvest my starfruit wine, which I sell to Pierre to buy 500 coal from Clint. I spend the rest of the day cleaning my farm and crafting a couple more kegs and tappers. Day 63, I check the traveling cart and have no luck. I'm getting a little worried now, but besides that, I smelt ore and do nothing but waste time in the mines. Day 64, I have 21 crystallariums now, which means I'm gonna have a lot of staircases. Besides that, I upgrade my barn, mine a bit in the skull caverns, and pick up the slingshot with explosive ammo. Also, level 10 combat, and I choose the brute profession. Day 65, I decided to try out the slingshot, and now before I show you the footage, keep in mind I've never used the slingshot in the caverns, but I think I did pretty good for the most part. Besides that, I'm not sure how deep I went, but I did get this red cowboy hat. I'll be using this for the rest of the run. Day 66, I harvest my pumpkins, replant them, and put down my lightning rods for tomorrow's thunderstorm, which I don't think happens much in fall, but I spend the rest of the day smelting ore. Before we start the next days, I have to warn you they're pretty unorganized and messy, so just a heads up. Day 67, the rest of my pumpkins were ready, and as I harvested them, I got a crazy idea. What if I planted 700 pumpkins and added deluxe speed grow to them? Well, it was the worst idea I had, but I thought it would be pretty fun. So I buy pumpkin seeds, deluxe speed grow, and craft 29 iridium sprinklers. Oh yeah, did I say 700 seeds? I meant 1,000 pumpkin seeds. This is a horrible idea. By the way, I got all the gold from selling my pumpkins, and seeing that I still had some money left over, I buy a pig named Papa and a goat named Cat. Now, after planting all my pumpkin seeds, I only had to till 600 spots. Did I mention I only have a copper hoe and a basic watering can? Not to mention, I still need to clear all that farmland. Yeah, I didn't really think this through, but I'll pay the price for the next 2 days. Day 68, as you can see, I got nowhere near 600 seeds planted, but at least the traveling cart has a truffle, which I buy, and still no sunfish. Great. The rest of the day is spent tilling the ground, passing out on my farm. Day 69, although all my tappers and kegs are ready, I still need to put those seeds on the ground, which I actually end up completing. Yeah, it's not the cleanest work, but it'll do. Besides that, I craft more kegs, harvest my wine, and fill up the kegs back up. Day 70, I buy a large white egg from the merchant and realize I'm pretty close to completing the greenhouse. Besides that, I take advantage of the good luck day, the rock candy, and my staircases, reaching floor 205 in the skull caverns. I actually don't get anything too crazy besides a crystallarium and ore. Day 71, I fixed my furnaces and remembered I have tappers here. I told you I was gonna forget about these things, but it's too late now. I donate some items to the community center and kinda do nothing for the rest of the day. Day 72 is a big one. I go to my first event in the valley, and not because of the town people, but because there's a star drop and a scarecrow I need. I need to make 2,800 star tokens to get both of these things, and I start with fishing, then throwing rocks, and finally a bit of gambling. And once I had enough tokens, I buy my star drop and leave. Yeah, that was it. That's all I did. Day 73, I harvest my fall seeds and get the last item I need for the greenhouse, the large milk, which means I can complete the greenhouse. Besides that, I stalk Leah and farm copper. Day 74, I collect my items for the greenhouse room and sell my wine to Pierre. After donating all those items, I unlock the greenhouse. This is probably the earliest I've ever unlocked the greenhouse, which is pretty cool, but at the same time that means we can probably get an ancient seed harvest, like a pretty big one. Talking about Junimo, according to Google they don't taste like anything, but that's something a Junimo would say, so I don't really trust that. Day 75, I forgot to mention, but I bought 999 deluxe speed grow for some reason. I'm not really sure why I did that, but I guess now we have 999 deluxe speed grow. Anyways, I harvest my pumpkins and replant them for the last time. I also planted my ancient seeds in the greenhouse, filling up the whole thing. After that, I gave a sweet gemberry to the old statue in the secret woods, receiving a star drop. Day 76, I harvest my tappers and craft more kegs, and run into a problem. I ran out of wood and space. To fix the space problem, I put him in the tunnel, and for the wood, I just have to buy later. I also pick up some winter seeds from the trader and harvest my pumpkins, planting down cranberries for no reason at all. Day 77, I don't do much today besides fishing and cooking. I also buy 625 amaranth for tomorrow. Day 78 is a little more interesting as our pumpkins are finally ready for harvest, and yeah, it's a lot of pumpkins. Most of these pumpkins are going straight into kegs. Besides that, I plant down my amaranth and give my hoe to Clint. I end the day by chopping down wood. Day 79, I get a knock at the door from Evelyn receiving a garden pot and the recipe for it, which I use. I craft 9 of them, put winter seeds into them, and deluxe speed grow. I'm trying to get the snow yam for the greenhouse, I think. No, that's wrong. It's for a bundle. I'm not sure which one, but it's one of those bundles. But besides that, it's more nothing. Day 80. Finally, after, I don't know, 80 days, I decided to donate my artifacts and stones to the museum. I also break geodes for more donations and spend the rest of the day donating items to the community center. Day 81. My cranberries are ready to harvest. I decide I want to dehydrate them, so I craft 10 more dehydrators. I also decide I want to put my kegs in a shed, so I buy one from Robin. Besides that, I just farm gold. Day 82 is a short one. I check the merchant and still no luck, but I plant some oak trees down and give them some fertilizer. Day 83. Finally something interesting happens. In fact, a lot of things happen. My kegs are ready and so are my tappers. So I collect my tappers and pick them up at the same time. I'm doing this to organize my farm, and that means chopping down the oak trees for more space, which I'll use to put down furnaces and more farmland. I also pick up my kegs and collect my fall seeds. I harvest my amaranth, and by the end of it, I sell my Starfruit wine, which is the last batch. After doing all that, I head to the Spirits Eve festival, buy everything from Pierre's shop, and get the golden pumpkin. Day 84, the last day of fall, I wake up to almost 600,000 gold in my pocket and a field of pumpkins, which I harvest. I also check the traveling merchant, and at this point, I'm convinced the Stardew gods are punishing me in a way, as there's 2 fish, of course none of them sunfish, and a red cabbage.
Hilarious.
But I still have hope. There's 6 more traveling carts till the 100 days are over, and hopefully I get lucky. Besides that, I buy some stuff from Robin and move my buildings around and chop down trees. I also have a big shed now, which I'll use for my kegs. With that, I chop down trees and end year 1 of fall. Fall's over, and I think we did amazing. Not only did I get a big harvest of multiple crops, but we finished the greenhouse and filled it up with a bunch of ancient seeds. The crazy part is, I think we're gonna get a harvest of ancient seeds by the end of the 100 days. Overall, fall was amazing. But now it's time for winter, and honestly, it gets a lot more simpler now. My only goals are to clean up my farm, expand my keg army, and complete the big goals, and hopefully get a sunfish. But enough about that, let's start with day 85. Have you ever seen my farm so clean? Yeah, neither have I, but I plan to keep it that way. And you might be asking yourself how? Well, it's simple. I start mine pretty basic. I make a square outline, place my sprinklers down, and plant my winter seeds. That's it for now. I'll expand on it later. Talking about seeds, I finally get my snow yam, letting me complete the crafts room and unlock the port. I spend the rest of the day placing my kegs down and processing my pumpkins. By the way, I have 260 kegs. I don't know if you're wondering, I guess. Day 86, I continue to expand my farm layout, adding more oak seeds to the right of my farm. By the way, they don't grow in winter. I didn't know that, but it still looks cool, kind of. Yeah, I'm not the brightest. After the trees, I place down a stone path that reaches the bottom and top of my farm. I don't record this for some reason, so you'll just have to wait for tomorrow. Day 87, here's that path I was talking about. Yeah, it was totally worth the wait. The plan for today was to buy a bunch of rabbits for their feet. Not for any weird reason, kind of. You see, rabbit feet are loved by almost everyone in the valley, excluding Penny, making them extremely valuable. Anyways, I need a deluxe coop, which I buy later, but before that, I buy a bunch of copper from Clint for my kegs and tappers. Then I buy the coop. I spend the rest of the day in the mine farming coal and iron. Day 88, I dehydrate my last batch of cranberries and make my way to Leah's cabin, which looks amazing, by the way. If you're wondering, we had a deep conversation about wood. Besides that, it's back to the mines. Day 89, another traveling card and another day without a sunfish. It's not all bad though. I bought 4 rabbits, no funny names this time. I also picked up a watering can I upgraded 2 days ago. Besides that, it's more mines. Day 90, I've been smelting copper and iron for the past couple of days, and I ended with a nice chunk of both. And the best part is, it's just in time for my kegs and tappers. In fact, I have enough tappers for my desert oak farm, which has grown a bit, and so does my keg army by 33 kegs. Anyways, I collect my pumpkin juice and re-pop them, re-keg them. I'm not sure what word I'm supposed to use, but I ready up for tomorrow's Skull Cavern run. The goal is to hit floor 300, and after a really long time, I finally hit level 10 foraging. If you're wondering, I've been stuck at level 9 for I think mid-fall, and I've been chopping down trees, like every single tree I find for like 20 days, I think. It was horrible, but it's finally over. Day 91, I wake up to a conversation with Pierre, and yeah, that's not the best way to wake up, but it is a good luck day, so maybe, just maybe, I'll get a sunfish. 5 whole catfish. That's my reward. That's my good luck day. Hopefully, I have better luck in the caverns. I trade my jades for staircases, 260 of them, and start my deep cavern run. My goal is to get as much ore as possible, and maybe, if I'm actually lucky, get an auto petter. But even with the good luck day, I just didn't get that auto petter. I got like 5 saplings for some reason, not sure what that was about, but at least I reached floor 316. I also skipped floor 300, so I skipped 3 whole chests. Did end up getting a bunch of ore and prismatic shards, which is nice. Day 92, you might have noticed all my crystallariums are gone. Yeah, I kind of goofed on day 89, and well, for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to switch tabs while collecting my jades. I also had a bomb on that tab, so it blew up almost everything. That had to be the closest I've ever been to resetting a day, but I held myself back. If in the video in the clip you can see I was just looking at the menu, but yeah, I messed up pretty bad. Anyways, my winter seeds are ready, and even though I have no use for them now, I plant even more of them down. Day 93, my crystallarium farm slowly regrows. Also, now that I hit level 10 on all my skills, I can access the mastery cave. There's 5 levels to mastery, and each time you complete a level, you get to choose one reward, or multiple rewards. You know what I mean. Luckily, I've already hit level 1 mastery thanks to the skull cavern run, and I get to choose one reward. I choose the farming mastery, unlocking the iridium scythe, golden animal crackers, and the statue of blessings recipe. I honestly only wanted the iridium scythe as it's really good, but you'll see that later. I spend the rest of the day finally organizing my chest, and it doesn't look good, but it'll do. I also planted down all those fruit tree saplings. Day 94 is a short one. I rekeg all my kegs and continue in the mines. Day 95, I pick up my golden watering can and sell my pumpkin juice and cranberries to Pierre. I'm about 300 gold off for my 3 million goal, and seeing that I have more than enough gold, I buy 500 iron and 200 coal from Clint. Again, this is all used for my kegs, and I spend the rest of the day smelting. Day 96, I continue to smelt ore and finally fish up a sturgeon, and seeing that the bookseller's in town, I pick up The Way of the Wind Part 1. I decide to visit Leah's cabin and talk about her ex. I guess it's better than wood. The rest of the day is spent smelting and clearing the quarry. Day 97, I collect 52 sap and craft 52 kegs. Unfortunately, these are the last kegs of the 100 days. I decide to place them down in the quarry, and while I'm down there, I donate some items to the bulletin board. Actually, it's the last items I need, and now I only need one more star. It's not looking too good for that star, but maybe we'll get it. Day 98, I rekeg all my shed kegs and get my first harvest of ancient seed. Unfortunately, I can't do much with it right now, but it's still pretty amazing that I somehow managed to get a full harvest. Also, look at that iridium scythe go. Told you it was good. I decided to move all my tunnel kegs into the quarry for convenience, and if you're wondering, I ended up with 345 kegs. Definitely not an empire, but maybe a small army. I spend the rest of the day processing my ancient seeds. Day 99, I finish up processing my ancient seeds and harvest my winter seeds. I also decide to finish gold too. I'm only 300,000 gold off, so I sell my amaranth and pumpkin juice, letting me hit a total of 3 million gold earnings, completing gold 2. Besides that, I returned Robin's axe after 99 days. You know what? I still returned it. I also renovate my shed with new windows and kill some time waiting for the night market to open. And when it finally does open, I check the traveling card and nothing. Okay, there's one more day, so I should be fine. Besides that little hiccup, I spend the rest of the night buying art and fishing. Day 100. I expanded my winter seed farm, added deluxe speed grow to it, and besides that, it's kind of boring for the last day. There's not much for me to do besides wait for the night market to open, and my last chance to get that sunfish. But the night market opens, I do a little luck ritual, and check the traveling card. And you won't believe this, but there's no sunfish. That's right. I failed goal 1 not because of a red cabbage or a lucky rabbit's foot or something even challenging. It was a sunfish. That's what took me out. That's what failed the goal. I can't believe this. I had 100 days with the traveling card and she didn't have one sunfish in stock. Not one. I can't believe it.